GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. Live long and prosper.
Friends with benefits.
Speaking of having a good time, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Dayton broke the G&T show. This is now the David Mack
Appreciation Hour. You assholes.
What is it about this guy that people love him so much?
With his purple velvet cape and his crown. I thought it was a little much when he had us carry him in the studio on a throne. I am awesome! Look what I have done! Look what I have brought upon the world!
There is an urge to go, nya.
I heard rumors that you might be working on something else, but we won't prod much. I was going to say it.
I'm going to pry a little.
Dare you! How dare you ask me to change it? Do you not understand the majesty of my genius? And the guy sitting next to me looked at me like he was, like I'd crapped in his hat.
Yeah, it's the professionalism that sells the show. That's right. Hey everybody, it's Tara Lynn. Welcome to the G&T Show Supplemental Log. This week we have a special guest, lead designer from Star Trek Online, Al Rivera.
Hi guys, good to be back.
And our co-hosts, as always, our Klingon resident, Ceridium.
Kapla. Always glad to have you here. And also joining us this week is Gingy, or also known on Gates of Stovacor as Scald.
Hello. And hello.
Well, welcome back, Al. It's always good to hear your voice.
Thank you. It's good to be back here. It's missed you guys. Haven't seen you since Vegas, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Been that long. And how was Vegas? Did it end up being pretty successful for everybody at Stowe?
Yeah. Well, it was huge. I mean, you were there you saw everything. So it was a blast, and getting up on stage with Denise Crosby was a thrill and frightening and amazing at the same time. The only thing I was disappointed about, I didn't get to go to the costume parade because I lost track of time at the Meet the Devs.
Right.
And, so it would have been nice to have seen Terry Farrell take the stage there because pictures looked amazing.
I think most of us at the Meet the Devs missed that because we were, you get us talking.
We were having our own fun.
Yeah. and if you missed Meet the Devs, if you're in the Bay Area, we are doing another Meet the Devs this weekend at the San Francisco Con Star Trek convention. It's actually not in San Francisco. It's in South San Francisco Burlingame this year. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but there's going to be about 6 or so of us going to be there on Sunday. There'll be a Meet the Devs in the hotel.
Is it the Hyatt Regency?
Yeah, I think it's the Hyatt. That's
great.
It's not so that's Brandon's got got a thread on the boards posting the information there. So if you're in the Bay Area or if you're going to be in the Bay Area, so come and see it. It's going to be be informal, just like it was at Vegas. You're responsible for your own drinks. It's not a party. We're just going to be meeting there, and you can chat with us. I'm not sure what time. It'll probably be at the end of the day or something. By
the time this gets posted, it's a week from Sunday, right?
So it's November 8th, 9th, and 10th?
I think that's right. So, yeah,
cool.
As far as I know, it's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so it'll be 2 days after this goes live. But actually, it'll be the 10th on Sunday. We'll be doing the Meet the Devs. But I'm going to be there Friday and Sunday, and there's going to be devs there all every day. So.
Fantastic.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
We don't have any dev panels or anything special. We're just there to see the show, and try to hobnob with some more celebrities to try to get them into the game again. So that's
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So our plan is to just keep getting to Pokemon, just collect them all. And my ultimate goal is to have each one of them marry me on the bridge of the Enterprise every year at Vegas.
Well, for those of you who are listening to this and aren't exactly sure what Al is referring to, this week on Star Trek Online, they released the most recent featured episode called Sphere of Influence, and it features the voice of Michael Dorn as Worf. And congratulations on getting that.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. That was a lot harder than usual.
I was going to ask you straight out, how difficult was it? Because he's known for not being, easy to catch.
Yeah, that was really hard. We were able to get in touch with him fairly easily, but I don't want to get into the details. But the legal issues and the contract issues and the agent issues, that's not even something I'm too privy of. But it just kept dragging, and we got to change this, and so it just took a while to straighten that out. He's a pretty well-known celebrity, and he's
right.
I think he's I'm going to guess that if I'm not mistaken, he's been on Star Trek longer than any other Star Trek actor. Maybe Majel Barrett, but she wasn't a regular in the other shows. So
right.
As a regular member of the crew, I think you're right.
Yeah, so,
I think he is.
So it was he didn't come to the studio. We recorded him remotely. So we've done that before. And I just kind of sat quietly in the back of the audio room, and while the audio guys and Christine did their thing, and man, his voice is a panty dropper. It's just he's just such a velvety voice. I was like, wow, he's so sexy, right?
It really is.
It's a funny thing. I remember a scene where he said something. He was recording something, and Joe, our recording guy, says, "Can you make it sound a little more warped? Kind of like that, give him that deep, sexy voice." And then he said something, and then Christine goes, "Oh, that's just way too sexy." and Worf goes, Michael says, "Oh, well, it's really hard to turn it off sometimes." So yeah, he's got a great voice, and so that was I
have to ask you guys. I know that the featured episode was kind of delayed, so you could get the voice over into the game. My question to you is, did you have to make a lot of visual changes to the episode because you were able to get the voiceover, or did you always kind of plan to make it Worf-centric and then just hope that you were able to tie things up legally with everything?
Yeah. So this is the trick about working with celebrity talent, and we're planning for it again for the next time. We knew we had a featured episode planned, and it was going to go out much earlier because we had even announced it when it was going to go out much earlier, like in September, in early September, I think. Mm-hmm. And we had the episode planned, and we knew exactly what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to be about the clicks or the spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
We talked about it on the show already. So
okay, so we knew we wanted to be about the Solanogens, and we had already teased the Solanogens in the Romulan featured series. If you remember one of the episodes where you go on the freighters, there's a video recording of someone getting pulled through the portal, just like they did on Schisms. So this was kind of a long time coming, but we planned the episode, and we knew we wanted to get a celebrity in there, and we knew there was a couple people that we wanted to get, and we didn't know who, so we made the episode very generic for who it would be. And as we knew it would be Michael, then we started to change it and write dialogue specific for him, and then it said, oh well, we got to get the Klingon dialogue done too. So we started gathering the Klingon dialogue from the Klingon first 5 or 8 levels of Klingon content. So we started getting that ready, and we knew it says we got to fix the Worf model, and so the Worf model got fixed.
We're all very happy about.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
that was really.
It is gorgeous.
The old one was pretty tragic, so it just was.
It was special.
It was.
So we started to scramble, and then we started finding, how can we make this more and more Worf-centric, right? So we just wanted to make it more about him and his experience with the Iconians and then we said, you know what, we've got to get the table in there, So we've just got to get the table in there. So that was like an addition that we added a little bit later to try to make it more and more about about a little more personal for him, because we didn't know who it would be, and so we just had to adjust. And the next time we've got a couple people we want for upcoming episodes, and whoever we get, then we're going to have to do the same thing. We're going to have to start generic and then start trying to make the story a little bit more about that character's experience, if we can kind of make it fit. So that didn't take too long to actually do in comparison to the contract work that needed to happen. But so we were waiting for a long time, and it was like, should we just delay it some more? Or are we just going to release it without him, which would have been sad. And that might happen one day where we'll make make the whole thing, and then we just can't make the contract work, and we may release something with someone, and it doesn't work out. They have schedules too, right? I mean, they have appointments and they have obligations, and so even though it's like, oh, we finally get the contract done, and all of a sudden, well, no, I'm going to be in Britain for that month or something. So luckily we were able to make it work, and it was pretty last minute that we finally got everything done. We knew we had to get it out by Halloween. We'd hoped to get it out, remember, said September, and then we said, oh, well, if we can get it around early, like middle October, we can make it a whole Halloween themed thing, because it was getting more and more creepy. But we had to get it out by the 31st.
The chirping gave me chills.
So what did the clicking?
The clicking.
The clicking totally gave me the heebie-jeebies. I was and in a really good way, because like I said in the G&T show earlier today, the featured episode really made me more so than I think any other mission that I've ever really played. It really made me feel like I was in a Star Trek episode. It really made me feel like my character was an integral part of Star Trek television almost, especially with Worf, and the way that it was written. And kudos to Christine and everybody who worked on it. Is the dialogue with Worf was
spot on. Yeah, spot on.
It was perfect. So not only did my character, and I feel like I was, Mike even said it was like a buddy.
It was a buddy cop moment. It was just totally awesome.
Buddy cop.
It was like
Worf.
high-fiving up Worf. It's like, dude, we just totally killed them.
Awesome. It was great. And it was just, to me, it's just, I can't wait to play it again. I'm savoring it. Usually sometimes, it's something that you have that has a reward like this does, and I have 13 alts. It's like, I'll just sit down and play through it 13 times.
You got to play more than 13 times. You got to play it 13 times for the ship, and then you got to play it multiple times for the other piece of gear. Right? You got to play it like 26 or whatever.
I can't. I'm just taking. I took Beth through it once the first day. I took Beth through it again yesterday. I'm savoring my time. I play through it slowly. I read every window. I listen to the voices. I don't skip anything, and not the least of which is, holy hell, the visuals on this one. Who's the one who came up with the whole portal gateway thing with all of the plans?
Oh, the platform room. Yeah. The subspace room.
Oh my God.
That just kept kind of evolving. So what happened was at first we were going to release the episode. We were just going to make the episode really quick. We didn't have a lot of time, so it was just going to be, after you go through the gate room, there'd be like a landing room, and then you go in through the next room, and then it was going to be just the main room, which was originally kind of inspired between Prometheus and the General Zod thing from Superman 2, where it's going to be mostly like a black screen, like a black room with like columns of light down. And the mission was originally much smaller. And when we realized we were getting Michael Dorn, it's like, we need to make this much bigger. And the person who worked on this mission was Kate Bankerson. Yeah, Kate Bakeson.
Oh, excellent.
So who you guys met in Vegas, and who also be in San Francisco convention. So she made that mission. She had done a platform like puzzle on Champions. She had worked on something similar to that, as well as a Simon Says kind of puzzle. So she had done something like that. So she had this idea, and the original implementation was more of the platforms was more of a puzzle where you had to go through one platform and then click a lever on one side, which would extend platforms across the room, and so you had to kind of figure a maze puzzle. It was a great idea. It ended up being completely maddening. So we got rid of it and just made it more of just made it much more linear. And then
it still has its turnoffs where you can get there's a little bit more of the story.
Yes, if you go and you explore the entire thing, you'll get an accolade. You'll find out more about the story, more things that's going on behind the scenes.
I did not know that. I'm going back to play again now.
I did. Skull definitely took his time when he was going through there.
Yeah, you have to
I must have gotten lost.
Yeah, so there's lots. It is a little. I mean, it's purposely a little confusing. And so what I wanted was, I said, this needs to be, and I hope it comes through. It may not come through entirely. It may maybe too subtle, that this, not only are you, that this whole facility is in subspace, and we don't know where it is in subspace, because the solanogens, the click-clicks, are subspace, life forms from that we learned. So this is supposed to be the same facility where Worf was taken to, but now you get to see the, much more of it, and this gate room, that is like in this subspace kind of a matrix, that when you go to a particular platform and you see Earth, you see Kronos, and Worf said this is not a hologram, this is a live feed. It's more than live feed. You're actually there in subspace, and they're just right there all the time at all those planets. They're there at all the planets all the time, which is why they can just kind of just snatch somebody away. And if you watch all the dialogue, and if you go back and play the dialogue again, you listen to different characters saying, "Yeah, I'm just really not. This has been a really exhausting project, and I haven't been sleeping well." They keep saying that. So all the people working on the project say that, and it's really. And if you go back and listen to dialogue, who's not sleeping, right? Those people are getting abducted, right? Because they're there, and they can. Oh, we're just right here. We're just going to take this guy. We're going to take this guy. They're monitoring everything because they are in like a subspace layer at those locations, and it's just like a big tesseract. So we wanted that to be like that, and then the artist had this really great trick where they were able to just change the sky file dynamically, and it says, "Wow, that's perfect. That's exactly what." And that just kind of that. So a lot of that was art saying that we could just do it this way, and it just kind of like happened in parallel. Like we wanted this to be in subspace, and they could do this kind of sky file change. This is, oh, that's perfect. Let's just go with that some more. So
it was an awesome effect.
Yeah, it really worked out well. And the first time I saw it, that's when I tweeted one time. It says, "Oh my God, this is beautiful. This is going to be the coolest episode."
It's so cool.
It is.
I stopped dead and just looked around. I wasn't sure what I was seeing.
I know.
It went through a lot of iterations, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ross, tell me you were as slack-jawed as I was.
I didn't even notice the planet at first. When I walked up to that first platform that was supposed to be Earth, I was looking in a different direction. I was taking in the rest of the vista.
I know, it's just
and
amazing.
I see Earth base stock hanging up there. I'm thinking, wait, what? How did? Then I look around. Oh.
That's exactly my reaction was too. I was like, whoa.
Bravo, sir.
Yeah,
bravo.
And if anything, you can take that back to the devs, Al, because when you get a bunch of players going, whoa, you've done something right. So the featured episode was just perfect. It really was just perfect. Yeah, but there is a lot of new stuff coming out next month. Actually, next week.
Well, November is going to be a crazy month with all kinds of stuff. Right now, even now, there's the featured episode is live, right? The featured episode replay is live. I believe it's live.
It is.
So you can play the old featured episodes for the restricted loot that you can only get during featured episode replay. Plus, now you can once a day you play any one featured episode and you can earn 15 lobi per day per account. So that's going to be going on for like 20 days or something. I think it's 20 days.
I wrote it up yesterday, and I think it's December 5th is the last day.
Okay, I'm not sure the date. That sounds a little long. It could be, but I don't remember. But you can earn 15 lobi every day by playing one of the featured episodes. And now we also have. Did we start it yet? Did we start the Elachi Red Alerts? I think we did. If not, they'll be happening.
The Elachi Alert.
Yeah. So the Elachi Red Alerts. That's basically results of the gate network being turned on. They're all the Elachis are coming through all the gates everywhere. So there's that event running through
right there. All the gateways are open.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Elachi Red Alert is running, and then season 8 will come out in the middle of November. I think we announced the 12th. I think.
A week from 9 days from.
Yeah, a week from Tuesday. A week from this goes live is a week from yesterday.
Right.
So cross your fingers. Still got a good amount of work to do. So that'll come out, and then there'll be a bunch of other stuff that I think is probably unannounced at this point. So November is just jam-packed because there's still a few more things coming out at the end of November that probably haven't announced. So
can we assume that there's going to be a triple test weekend this weekend then? Or are you guys even going to do one?
I don't think we're going to do a triple test weekend. We're still going to give away a triple, but we're not going to do a triple test weekend. So it's
interesting.
Yeah, it's I talked about this on Priority 1 a little bit. It really hurts us financially when we do it. We found out because we have too many people. too many people are on Tribble, our numbers go down dramatically, immeasurably.
Interesting.
On holodeck, not just playable numbers, but money numbers go down, and also it hurts us long term because people who have played the content on Tribble then are less interested to play for the long term on holodeck. So it's a very measurable effect. So which is why we restricted Tribble access to gold members for such a long time, because they're always invested, right? The gold members are always invested, so it doesn't, that's and also, an extra benefit for gold members to play. And so we'll be, but we still need people on Tribble just to test things for like load bearing and just things that just happen when a lot of people play. But we're not going to push a Tribble test weekend, but we will continue to award a seasonal Tribble award. I think
this morning this morning during our live show, we were cracking a joke about a Dyson Sphere Tribble, and we were all discussing how large that Tribble must really be.
just like the one on the animated series, right?
Exactly what we were
exactly
talking
what
about.
I was saying. Yeah. If you pop it, it's like a piñata. There's lots of little Tribbles inside of it.
This will be a Solanogen Tribble, Solanogen subspace Tribble. It's a little purple glowy Tribble, and it's I think it gives you I can't remember.
Does it give you an alarm when somebody's trying to abduct you?
Abduct you, yes. I can't remember what it does. I'm pretty sure it gives.
So help me God, if it clicks.
Yeah. That's got to happen.
Clicking Tribble.
That's got to happen instead of. Okay, I got to go make that happen on Monday. Instead of purring, it's got to click.
If it starts to click, I will freak the hell out. Oh, man. Okay, so I know that one of the things that we really didn't get an opportunity to talk about last week, but we kind of wanted to, what kind of changes can we expect coming up for Foundry?
For Foundry?
Yeah, sorry to throw you a curveball.
So we are working on some Foundry changes. There's some things that are going to come out hopefully with Season 8. I've been promised, but we're going to continue to work on some of the bigger features for later on. Hopefully with Season 8 we will be coming out with category system for Foundry missions. Just nice. so you can have combat mission and story mission or whatever categories we come out with.
Will the categories be searchable?
Yes, that's the whole point. So yes, so you can sort your missions can be marked
itemized.
Can be marked as this is a combat mission and this is a story based mission, and then you can search for show me all, sort by filter out just combat missions or filter out just story missions or.
And the author will be setting that, or will the player?
No, the way the players will rank them. The author doesn't set them, and this is a Neverwinter feature that we're bringing over, and so the way that's set up is that when you play it, you get to mark it as which you think it is. I'm not sure why the author doesn't set it, but I'm just happy to have the feature moved over.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. So what types of categories can we look forward to?
We haven't nailed down what the categories will be. We just that's going to be easy to add once the technology's over, but I'm sure there'll be. We're open to suggestions, so we can talk about it now. There'll be combat, there'll be story. I think there'll be comedy. I think we had originally had something like 6. I think Neverwinter's got something crazy like 12, which is way too many in my opinion.
I think it would be nice to be able to know, I'm in the mood for a space combat. I'm in the mood for a story mission. I'm in the mood for ground combat. I'm in the mood for a diplomatic mission, something like that.
Or a hybrid where it's a little bit of
everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So
what was that, Ross?
Grinder.
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 Yeah. So we've talked about combat, or if it's kind of solo, group based, ground, if it's humorous or just potpourri kind of thing. So we'll figure out the categories as we get closer. So that's something that we wanted to get was fairly easy that we wanted to get in right away. I think there's also along with that there will be like a follow this author, right? Follow this.
Oh, nice.
So you can subscribe to an author's content.
Quick question about that. Will the author be notified in some way, maybe an in-game mail message saying that so-and-so is following the author?
I really don't know. Like I said, I've been trying to get some Foundry meetings going. It's like, certainly been buried in season 8, but the Foundry team is outside of Star Trek, and so it's like we need to get you guys to go and give us these features, and so just kind of reviewed a lot of the features that Neverwinter has, and saying, okay, can we port these over? Let's port this over, and the number one I wanted was the tag and sort, and so the details of the actual features themselves, whether or not the author will get notified. If it does in Neverwinter, then it would in Star Trek, and I just don't know where the feature is. So, but it does take a while to. It's not just a copy and paste. It does take a while to move that in. So there'll be those features moving in. There'll be those are the ones I think that are coming out right away, probably potentially with season 8, and then there's another dozen or so other features that are also will be coming out over the next I don't know, hopefully by season 9, other features that will be coming in there. I don't want to speak too much for them. It's a little early, and there's some exclusives we want to hold off on as far as when we'll be announcing those features. But the idea is to get the damn thing out of beta. Right?
Yeah.
Been how long?
Yeah, really.
So we focused a lot of time on we were burning a lot of cycles just fixing damn exploits, right? So people just keep.
All right, now I'm going to switch gears on you again. Talk a little bit about season 8, and now that I've had just a few tastes of what is coming in season 8, because I got to jump into the Tribble test server and try some stuff out. I'm kind of saving the rest for when it goes live on holodeck. I just have to ask, during what I am sure was a great wild meeting, who's the person who said, okay, tell me it was you, Al, tell me we need to have the Voth in because we can get dinosaurs into the game?
Well, definitely that it was me. It was me who wanted the Voth. The Voth had been one of my favorites for a very long time. I really liked that episode from Voyager, and I love the whole kind of I always like villains that are fanatical or either religiously or ideologically driven. That they always seem far more frightening because it's pretty real.
Right.
And I love the idea of the story of these this race that evolved from real dinosaurs on the Earth. And Voth were actually originally designed and released when we released the game. They were one of the critter groups that I wanted from the very beginning. And an early story was going to have them come in and try to liberate the Gorn. So maybe we'll do something with that in the future. But because they have a disdain for all mammals and think that saurian-based life forms are the pinnacle of evolution.
Train of thought.
So that was an early story that I wanted to pursue. They always offered an opportunity to get dinosaurs in the game, which I thought would always be a fun and interesting thing to see. There was originally a plan of actually just going to a Voth homeworld, and it actually was like a Lost World kind of high-tech Lost World kind of thing.
Or as I said on the show this morning, Jurassic Park of the 25th century.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of early talks about what to do with them, but I had always assumed that they would, just like we would have dogs, that they would have pet raptors. I talked about this a little bit on Priority 1, that if a race of people are going to be leaving their exodus, this massive exodus of their planet, of course they're going to be bringing a biosphere, they need to bring their entire ecosystem with them to repopulate whatever planet they're going to. And it happens in all kinds of science fiction movies where there's a mass exodus of Earth.
Dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Yeah. So whether or not they actually bring the actual dinosaurs or just bring the DNA or the embryos to repopulate, they would need all the fauna, they would need all the flora, they would need that to rebuild an entire ecosystem. So just like we use dogs and horses and dolphins in the military, and Klingons use targs, and they'd be using their dinosaurs and in a more high tech way.
Yeah, they're beast of burdens.
Yes. So
that's right. It took me a while when I first saw it, I kind of had to laugh because of everybody. Let's face it, everybody saw the picture, the screen cap of the laser laser helmet, and everybody thought Austin Powers right off the bat.
Sure.
But once you get over the initial kind of joy of it, because really what it was, oh my God, we're getting dinosaurs with lasers on their head.
Yeah.
Once you understand the Voth, yes, I totally agree with you. That's exactly. I just saw them as armored attack swords.
Yes.
That we see.
And some of the attack swords from the Gorn actually have little armor pieces on them. And at one point we were going to put guns on those swords. We just never got around to doing that. It was a very early iteration. So we knew it would be awesome, be fun. It gave us the ability to kind of escalate ground combat to something a little bit more than just fighting bipeds all the time, and gave them a very different kind of feel in the combat. And I understand people's trepidation about it. Even if the Voth weren't in the Star Trek universe, I could see us, having players find some sort of lost world planet. It seems to make perfect sense. There's always parallel development on all the planets in the Star Trek universe. There's always those life forms always seems to be. It seems being that it's the progenitors basically seeded the primordial soup all over the galaxy. That there's a lot of parallel development everywhere. So even if these weren't from Earth dinosaurs, we had always wanted to see what that would be like to have that. But we're able to take a little bit further and a little bit more high tech with the Voth storyline. And I'm never going to.
With so many of us who read the Star Trek novels as well, there are very much like Saurian races in the books. Even in the Titan books, the chief medical officer looks like a raptor. Velociraptor, right?
Yeah, he's a raptor. I love that line in the Titan books because he has to deliver a baby and when they do exactly what you would think they should be doing. They beam the baby out because there was some problems, and he says something like I'm very hungry or something.
Hungry, right?
I love those babies. It makes me very hungry.
Yes, Dr. Ree is exactly who he is. We love him very much. He's one of my favorite characters. So I am just letting you know now. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Pakwathon on the Federation. Just saying. You can do it now that you have the artwork below it.
Is that his race? I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah, Pakwathon is his race. Yeah,
it's his race. Does he even have a tail? I can't remember if he has a tail.
Yeah, he does. I think.
Does he have a tail?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think who was it that came up with him? Was it Christopher Bennett? Might be. I don't know. I'll have to see who dreamed him up. It might have been Michael Martin. Somebody has a sketch of what he's supposed to look like. So
I think you at least see his head on one of the covers.
Yeah, his head.
Yeah, and he does come across as being very raptor-like, and I think he does have a tail. I think I remember seeing some artwork where he's kind of like leaping across something.
Right.
It might have been one from one of the Destiny books.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure. But yeah, wow, I'm excited. I cannot wait till it hits holodeck and we can all play it. But will the Voth dinosaurs be hitting the Foundry as well? Do you know?
The Voth Critter Group have been added to the Foundry.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
including their Saurian bioengineered guys?
Yes. I think the V-Rex is not in there because it's a special boss, but the entire Critter Group is in there. It's just so
right on.
Excellent. I have a character named Alpha Turok who's been waiting for this opportunity.
That's great. Mike, we have some questions that were sent in from some of our listeners. Do you want to throw one of those out?
Sure. One of them, I believe, has already been answered, so I'll skip that one.
Okay.
Which leaves us rocket launchers.
Oh, you want the Tetrion or Tachyon launcher that Worf had in Insurrection?
Apparently, we do want rocket launchers to go up against the mechs and the dinos. So, any chance that'll be part of the reputation system for the Dyson Sphere?
No, not a chance that it will be in the reputation for the Dyson Sphere. We are one of the when we first made weapons for Star Trek. Right now we have pistols, rifles, and assault weapons, and I originally wanted the assault weapon to be based on that shoulder-mounted Tetrion launcher that Worf has in Star Trek Insurrection, but it was too problematic for the animators, partly because of the body scaling and shoulder geo that's on people's, especially on the Klingons, right? They have bigger shoulder pads, and for it to work really well. So that's why we got the kind of like underslung heavy assault weapons that we have in there. And so building a new animation setup to make it work is not going to be easy until we get. One of the things that the animators want to do is they want to move over to a new animation system, which Neverwinter uses. So it's going to take about 3 months of just plain animation work to convert over to the entire new system before you see anything crazy like that. And that doesn't sound that crazy, but it just happens to be a lot of work apparently.
No, I was going to say that sounds crazy.
Yeah. So it's going to be a while before you see different types of stances of weapons. So no, you won't see that launcher in there. There are I think there's one of the weapons in there does use some of the art from the mech but it's a standard assault underslung weapon. So
okay,
it's one of the special, like the one-off weapons in there. So.
I want to take a moment and go back a little bit to the featured episode, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
As I was playing it, I was getting a feel for that there were a lot of elements that were inspired from Stargate universe specifically. Can you talk about it, whether or not that was some kind of influence for this epispisode?
Not really intentional. I think this is just one of those cases where I'll admit when we kind of are inspired by yeah. But I mean, this was purely just a pull from the Iconians, right? From the whole episode of all the episodes, the Iconian stories that are on TNG and DS9.
All two of them.
Yeah, all two of them. So it really wasn't meant to feel like Stargate or be reminiscent of Stargate in any way. There certainly is. You're certainly going to be influenced by all sci-fi because we all watch sci-fi and we're all sci-fi nerds. But the intent was really to be building it around the Iconian stories. So it's
interesting. A happy accident.
Yeah, I mean the same thing happens with if you've played yet the 5-man queue, The Breach. If you've played that yet on Tribble, the one where you assault the giant fortress ship.
That is a crazy looking event.
Yes,
I have not yet had an opportunity to play it.
That is my favorite, and I've got to say it's probably the best 5-man queued event that we have in Star Trek. And I know people are going to start thinking that we did like a Death Star thing, but it's the same kind of thing. We had no intention to make it like a Star Trek Death Star kind of thing. We were totally wanted to do. We knew that the Voths have these giant ships, and then.
How else are you going to be able to take down a huge giant ship unless you attack it from the weak point? You have to go for the Achilles heel.
And that's one of the major things that happens in the episode in the Voyager episode where they beam Voyager inside that city ship. So we needed to represent that most iconic thing that happened in that episode. So you start off with a legion of ships attacking this giant fortress ship from the outside, and you're the crack squad that you're going to go in, and you go in and you attack the outside, and you fly through the trenches of that ship, and it's so big that it's a crawl at full impulse. So actually we made these like energy corridors down the trenches that make you go faster, so that way you can actually travel at a reasonable speed across the ship, and you take out all these hard points, and then eventually you weaken the ship's defenses, so then you can go to this one area and blow a hole in the side of the ship, and then you fly inside, and then you go to then there's one room that's like this hangar bay, and you got to shut down all the hangars so more ships can't come out, and then you go into the engineering room, and there's this there's this big kind of shell game kind of Galaxy Quest, big pistons opening and closing kind of thing. It's like, who builds these ships like this? Who did this? Whoever built this should die. And so there's these giant pistons that are open and closing, you fight through there, and then until you get to the core, and you blow up and you fight the core, and it's this big giant boss monster core thing, and you fight that, and once you defeat that, then you got to get out before the ship explodes. And so it's a pretty and so you play it, and it's like, oh my, it's Star Wars. And it's like, well, and while we're playing, it was like, hey, this is starting to feel like Star Wars, and it's feeling like it's Assault on the Death Star. But it really was never intended to be. It was entirely inspired by the fact that we needed to have an assault on a giant Both ship and go inside of it, because when you see that scene in Voyager, wouldn't that be cool to fly in there and attack that ship from the inside? So that's where that came from. So these are just kind of those things that it's a where they say every story ever that will ever be written already has been kind of thing. So I recognize the similarities in both those instances with Stargate and with Star Wars. But happy accidents, and you know what? Then you can just our game lets you experience all those worlds in one location. So you don't need to go anywhere else. It's all there.
Yeah, the beauty of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Right on. Also, Michael Dorn, the character of Worf, is one of the most iconic characters in Star Trek. And he has, I think in Stowe's storyline, he has the potential to kind of bring these two warring factions together. Any chance that we'll, A, be seeing more of Michael Dorn in the future, and B, could it possibly lead to the end of the Klingon Federation War?
Those are good questions. So at the end of the episode, there's a subtle hint to exactly what you're suggesting. So I think that it is the direction that we want to move into. We definitely did spend some time with Michael to get a couple other lines from him that we might be using in the future. Will we get him back in the studio? Probably not at those prices. But we got a bunch of stuff from him that we wanted, and some possible dialogue that we may or may not use for him in the future. So, but yes, I think that he already starts hinting at it at the end of the episode, and it's very subtle, but I think that you can count on something like that happening.
Very cool. Very cool. My last question that comes to mind immediately has slipped my mind, actually.
He was so excited about that.
Excited.
Yes, your previous answer just blew my mind. So I'm like,
he squeaked. I heard it.
Yes.
Well, I think that would make a lot of us very happy. I think that, I haven't made it very secret that I've never been overtly fond of the fact that the Federation and the Klingons were ever at war. So the idea that we might finally get that resolved and let them shake out their differences would be good for the game on the whole. At least I hope it would be. I think from a Star Trek lore point of view, I think it makes perfect sense that the Federation and the Klingons would go to war. I mean, even during Deep Space Nine, I mean, they went back to war for a while, right? I mean, the Klingons assaulted Deep Space Nine. They're a powder keg, and if something doesn't go, the right circumstances, and they'll go native again. So it doesn't make that much. It's not that much of a stretch to think that would have happened. And I think we needed a red versus blue when we launched Star Trek Online. We didn't know what the populations would be like. We didn't know how much PvP we would do, and if we did a PvP we really wanted, and what are those two iconic enemies are going to be like. And it made a lot of sense for it to simply just be Klingon. My mom knows that who Klingons are, and that they're and most people think of them as those are the antagonists, right? So it made a lot of sense to do that. And I think that's fine. But for the health of the game, I think it doesn't make sense to start ending those things. But additionally, we've been really basically doing it. With Romulans coming on board, it's really kind of a catalyst for the Klingons and the Federation begrudgingly working together, but they are working together more and more. And frankly, it's just impossible to make content for multiple factions constantly. So it helps bring all the different players together. So I think you'll see that. I think we'll also see eventually the calendar tick to 2410, right? Wow. So and the way I look at it is that the game won't change. So when you log in as a new player, you'll still be fighting the Klingons in the beginning, but it's like you're progressing through the timeline. When you're level 50 or whatever,
however, at the end when you get to that content, it's like now it's a new world.
There must be something kind of freeing though to know that you don't have an already written lore to have to adhere to. That your world could end up moving forward in perpetuity without having an end per se that a lot of other games do.
Without having an end, I don't understand what you're getting at.
Well, I mean, there are some games that have, an already written lore. They're based on books, right? So they're based on books or something that have an end, and then when they get to that, what are they going to do?
Right.
You know,
like perhaps Star Wars Galaxies or Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, that they're in, they're
a consolidated lore.
Yeah. I mean, we picked a good time. We wanted to make. That's why we kind of picked it 30 years in the future. We wanted to kind of extricate ourselves from those exact moments that, who knows if they were going to make another next gen movie afterwards. We wanted to kind of get away from all that. So they kind of put us in a safe place by making it 30, 35 years in the future. And, there hasn't been anything done after that. I mean, the only thing that really has happened is the, whatever Temple Wars and the Enterprise J that kind of happens, and the Wells class. And we know that
just very brief
moments of stuff that happens out there. So nothing that really would hurt our story or affect our story. I mean, we still are limited by the IP, and I don't even think limited is a good word because because I don't really necessarily find it limiting. I actually enjoy working on products that are IP based. A lot of people don't like working on it; they feel constrained. I don't. I actually enjoy working within those confines. But like we can't go and do something horrible with certain characters. We can't kill certain characters, and we can't destroy the Federation. Say the Federation is lost or something like that. We can't blow up Earth, right? Those CBS would just not let us do that, and I would not let anybody do that. So, but I mean, the constraints are not a big deal. But we do get to go in lots of crazy things, and we get to pick up a lot of stuff. A lot of times I get sometimes the developers will say let's do something crazy and original and stuff like that. And it says, well, yeah, I mean, I think that'd be fun, but you have to keep reminding people that we're not making our Star Trek. We're making the fans' Star Trek. And I always want. There's so many episodes out there that it's so easy to kind of take one of those and see what would have happened. Let's explore those as opposed to just making up original bad guys or completely original problems when there's so much to riff off of.
True. Star Trek is almost limitless.
I mean, taking the Voth or the Iconians are perfect examples of that, right? Or I mean, if you read Memory Alpha and read a little bit about the Click-Clicks, the Slanagen-based life form, they were originally planned to be a recurring bad guy, but they never liked. I think it was was it Berman? I can't remember who just said didn't like the way the makeup turned out, or it was just too impractical or something. They didn't seem that he wasn't happy with them. So, but the original story where they were supposed to be, when that probe comes through the end of that episode, something was going to happen. So we get to kind of pick up that story and say, well, this is what was going to happen. So that's great. And how fun was? I mean, I got to say, probably one of my best episodes ever was Tribbles and Tribulations, right?
Tribulations,
right? That episode was so fun because it's total fan service, right? And so that just made me giddy the whole time watching that. That was just so amazing. We can do that in Star Trek Online, and I want to do more of that to make that fan service so players can live in that universe and experience those events experience it from a different perspective or see the results of it. I mean, it's no secret now we're going into the Delta Quadrant. There's so much to explore about what path of destruction did Janeway leave behind her. What are the results?
If I may make a request, the Vodwar, please.
The Vodwar,
please. The Vodwar.
The Dragon's Teeth.
Yes.
Sure.
That's one of my favorite races, and I think it would fit in very well for Stowe as some kind of red alert.
People keep saying to do the Kremlins, and I don't think so. The Kremlins, that one Kremen time ship really was pretty nasty, but they weren't really bad guys. And Janeway kind of fixed that, and he's just a happy scientist with his wife sitting in his his home office, right?
Yeah.
And so they weren't particularly bad guys, and I mean, I think their ships are really interesting. I'd like to see them in the game, but I don't know if I would make them a real bad guy of the Delta Quadrant.
To me, the Carinum would fit better as maybe another faction in the Temporal Cold War if you ever decide to explore that a little bit further.
Yeah,
but,
they could be a major player in a Temporal Cold War.
Yeah, but as just in the current timeline, not interfering with time travel or anything like that, I agree they don't seem as threatening. But coming from the perspective of the future, coming back, then a lot more frightening there.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I still have a whole season and a half left of Voyager to get through before I can
you gotta get up on it. Since you started, I've already watched it twice.
Well, we watched an episode last night. What did we watch, Michael? Oh, the Voyager conspiracy. When the Seven gets all conspiracy theorist, it's pretty funny. And
whatever happened to that generator?
Yeah, but it was talk about a question that was left unanswered. Is that there was
the ship that they saw at the explosion from the
that had the tractor beam on the generator. Yeah. I never got the answer.
And something else that we had discussed during the show today was the idea of whatever happened to that slingshot.
Yeah, it's just still sitting there as far as anybody else is concerned.
The graviton slingshot or something.
Yeah. It's anyone could be using it now.
I think there's a lot out there to explore. I got to find trying to find the really good threats for a player, right? I mean, there's a lot of great stories and that I think we could do.
TNG season 1,
but not all the best stories make good gameplay or good bad guys. So
True.
I'm also trying to find. I think the Vardoir have high potential. I think the Deans have high potential, but I'm also looking for really big bad guys, really big threats that could, the Both is one of them, right? They're a force, right? That's is really up there. So we knew we could do a lot with them. There's an interesting bad guy, and I can't remember the name of it or the episode, but there's this episode where I don't know if you've caught up to it yet, Terry, where Tuvok gets blasted from electric, and he becomes childlike, right?
Yeah.
He becomes.
That was it was one we just watched a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay, so you remember the bad guy, the alien there was kind of this kind of.
They were.
They were creepy. You never got to see them. You just kind of saw an outline, but they weren't bipeds, right? They were insect-like or
they had tentacles.
Yeah, they had tentacles, and all their ships were cloaked and everything. So I like stuff like that because I think because monsters are fun. They could be they might be an interesting monster to bring out.
I don't disagree with you. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
and that allows us to do really bizarre stuff, gameplay mechanic wise, with something that's so alien like that. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. Is just spending a lot of time looking at Voyager and looking at good bad guys and good challenges for players. I'd love to get some of the space dwelling life forms. We don't have enough of those in our game.
I totally agree.
We don't. You know what? I'm really my biggest disappointment right now, I think, is that we don't have any energy beings in our game.
Oh, kind of like the wisps.
There's all kinds of energy beings all over. I mean, there's the vampiric one that one that from Captain Kirk
with the children. Yes.
The one where not the children, the energy being where they had to go they had to blow him up with antimatter and they had to use bait of hemoglobin. He ate blood. It was one of
the cloud.
Yeah, the energy
non-corporeal.
All the non-corporeal energy beings. So we need more energy beings in our game. So
what was the one that was in one of the first episodes of TNG as well and kept messing with them? That was a good one.
I'm thinking about the same one.
I think of the first season of TNG was the ultimate weapon, the holographic salesman and the stuff that kept trying to blow up the ship.
Are
you talking about TNG? Oh, that was an energy being.
No, I was talking about one that was It wasn't Where No Man Has Gone Before. What was the name of the episode where the non-corporeal being kind of puts himself into like a dusty face of a humanoid and kind of puts them through a rat's maze. It was like a first season one. I can't remember.
In TNG. In TNG. The one was like, okay, yeah, and he says, he didn't have a sense of male and female, and says, and he says, what's death? And
then he kills the person. He just totally kills the person. Right,
yeah,
him.
Like,
that was cute.
We'll have to do more experiments on this. It won't take more than 40-50% of your population at best.
Right.
Yeah,
him. He was creepy.
Yeah. So lots of energy beings.
So
I agree.
To kind of move further on the season 8 stuff, is part of the season 8 now. Pardon me for not knowing, because I am trying to keep what's left of what's on Tribble kind of secret for myself, because I want to be surprised when it all gets out on holodeck. Is the new Federation tutorial going to be part of that, or is that going to come later?
No, Federation tutorial will be part of it. It's too late to back out now, so it's already all hooked up. So the new Fed tutorial will go out with season 8. It will take you to level 3 or 4, and then drop you off at Earth Space Dock. So that is in there. It's on Tribble. It's made a lot of progress. We're pretty happy with that. So
I've played through most of it. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, really? I'm so excited.
The custom bridge you guys put in there is absolutely gorgeous.
Everybody's getting that bridge. That'll be defaults on.
Thank you.
Every ship will be on as an optional bridge. It certainly comes on the Miranda. Hopefully we put it on the other ships. If not, it'll be easy to add. It's not going to sell it or anything.
Cool.
So that's that we tried to make that. I guess if we won't talk about too many spoilers, but instead now you start off in the academy, right, and you go off on your training mission, and then stuff goes bad. So we tried to make it very Trek. We tried to make it harkens back to some of the movies, and a few some moments from some of those that are very Trek moments, and hopefully people like it. It's that's tutorials are hard, man. They are so hard, because you can't just let anything slack. You can't just anything let slide by. So it's a constant and every time you pick at one thing, you just unravel something else. So they're hard to make. We spend a lot of time on them. But hopefully this one. Well,
from what I've seen, you guys have done a really good job on it so far. From what I've seen.
Yes, that's Matt Miller, who he used to work for Cryptic a long time ago, and then moved over. He was the lead on City of Heroes when it went to Paragon, and he's back with us. And he did the Klingon tutorial, so now he did the Fed tutorial. And going forward, we're going to be updating as much Fed content as possible as well. So just kind of those old 4-year-old missions, right, that just aren't up to quality anymore. Because most people still play Federation, so we want to make that experience, as much of that as slick as possible. Like getting rid of, or completely redoing, or completely getting rid of Memory Alpha, for instance. I mean, it's just a terrible experience in there. So some of the earlier
Where's Thomas getting transferred to?
What's that?
Where's Thomas getting transferred to?
Yeah, we'll have to make sure that Thomas gets a home. But just trying to just update all that content, just so that way the entire Fed experience is up to the standard that we want.
What are you most excited about to see getting released in season 8?
The ground battle zone. Definitely. That was because that gives us the territory control. It gives a lot of life to ground combat in a very exciting and fun way. I thought, like, when we put it out there, it was just the response was great. I remember one guy says, "I've been playing for 16 hours straight," and it's just so that's great. I was like, okay, and I don't even like ground combat, and I'm playing for 16 hours straight. So it's so that experience is really good. So that we're really proud of that. Really happy with that. Sean McCann, who's also from Paragon Studios, who joined us when City of Heroes shut down, he did that and did just an amazing job. That came out really awesome. It's so if people haven't played, I mean, you've played it, Terry. You said you died a lot, right? So
it was because I made the mistake of I just wanted to go see what it was all about, right? I wanted to get. I had 2 hours before my column was due, and I wanted to get screenshots. I'll just tell you the truth. And I jumped in, I got screenshots, and I got shot.
If you're going to wander around by yourself, you got to be pretty cautious. I mean, perhaps
I was not.
Perhaps if you're a tactical officer and throw on some stealth or something, you could get around sleuth around. But
there were best guts everywhere.
Yeah, but it's got some great little kind of, I don't want to call them mini games, but just the individual capture points about what you have to do to control those points they're really, I think they're really well done, and they're really fun, and should be pretty straightforward what you have to do. How much was that the only bit you played, Terry? Any of you played the Battlezone yet? We want to know what your experiences were like.
I've played it a little bit. About 2 or 3 times I went into, I think, 3 or 4 different zones. First time I just died a lot because I was trying to solo it. Yeah. Don't try to solo it.
You want to clump together with somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. And the second time I played through, we actually took 3 points, and I just tagged along with another group, and we managed to take 3 points very, very quickly and easily. It was a lot of fun. So yeah.
Anybody else play?
Did you get to play?
When I was on Tribble, I mostly did the Fed tutorial. I looked around the battle zone, but it was in the middle of cooldown, so nothing was going on.
Only stays in cooldown for a short amount of time, though. So
yeah, for me, I got to. I've been in there a couple of times. I did get to learn how to take at least 1 point with another player who was kind enough to kind of say, "Come with me," and and I got to. I guess the first thing I did, and I don't know how I did it or why I did it. I just went, "Oh, look, there's a swarmer that was on the ground," and I guess you go in and you manipulate its guts and you turn it to your side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The swarmers. A couple people, and it might have even been G&T, said that the swarmers are Voth. They're not Voth.
No.
The swarmers are the they're the automated self defense and maintenance units of the Dyson Sphere and of the the Slanogens. So and if people don't remember at all, they first saw the swarmers. Do you ever remember the first time you saw swarmers?
With the Ferengi, she attacks you with a bunch of them in that asteroid belt.
Yep.
Yeah, in the Gamma Quadrant. So there's a bunch of them on the asteroid and Gamma Quadrant. So now we see the source of what those things were.
I didn't make the connection that the two were the same. I just thought they were similar technology.
No, they're exactly the same. So they're there, and they'll come out and they'll attack on not in both the Adventure Zone and on the Battle Zone. They'll attack the Voth too. So if you they just attack anything, right? So or you can program them to you can try to, sometimes you can get some to just be programmed on your side, but they'll just if you ignore them, they'll just start attacking the Voth.
Yeah, I came across one that had been damaged. I reprogrammed it, and it became essentially my third bridge officer. It followed us everywhere. It was like nice.
Yeah,
it was great.
Right on. I did remember my question I forgot earlier, and it was the discussion of the tutorials is what brought it to my mind. But very briefly in passing, you had mentioned that Michael Dorn had recorded voiceover for the Klingon tutorial. Is that correct?
Not necessarily the Klingon tutorial, but the content in which he appears in the Klingon episodes, he is now voiced as him. So
very cool.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
The episode with the Alexander story arc. Yeah. Awesome! That was amazing.
I don't think Michael Dorn was happy that we killed Alexander. So spoiler alert if you haven't.
Oh no!
I think his exact words was like, "Killed Alexander." That's effed up.
Well, we told you that too. I was like, it's the last thing on earth you want to be is either his lover or somebody he cares about.
Related to him in general.
But I thought, have you all played it? Have you played that content?
Yes.
Yeah. So the whole point of that harkens back to the episode where Alexander comes back in time in TNG and meets his father and says, you've got to train Alexander, who is him, to be a warrior because he's going to because I watched you die in the Great Hall because I wasn't a warrior and I wasn't able to defend you. And so that's what happens in the Klingon episode. He becomes a warrior and then he dies instead. That's the result. That's the cost of that. And so
it's a nice balance.
The bookend.
So that's the point of that. And I don't know if Michael Dorn. I don't think he plays Star Trek Online, so I don't think he got the whole point. Point of that of why that happens. But so he got to do that, and he's going to now be your congratulations congratulations, Lieutenant voice. So everybody will have a IP actor who will be leveling them up and a bunch of other stuff that's throughout the game that he'll be so more love for the Klingons and got to go out there and let them know that we're representing them. So because I swear we come to season 8, it's like, oh, we got nothing for the Klingons, we got shafted again. It's like, you kidding me? I'm like, come on, guys. It's just like, what can I do? We just got you, Michael effing Dorn.
Well, I was thrilled with it. I thought, once again, congratulations on the featured episode. Michael, do we have any other questions?
Oh, I probably have a million of them.
I do.
I mean, we obviously we love what you guys do, and we hope that you guys are going to be around for a long, long time, because this is great Star Trek storytelling that you guys are giving us, and we appreciate it and look forward to every featured episode, every little thing that you guys throw our way. So thank you.
Speaking of storytelling, I do have, 2 questions. One thing that I loved most about the New Romulus Reputation were the story rewards we got with it with each tier. Can we expect that with the Voth Reputation?
You can, if our designer is still working this weekend. He's working on it right now. So he was there. Charles Gray, our new lead content designer, was there working on it yesterday at the office, and I think he's there today. So we luckily get to buy a little time because we don't have to finish the stories for like tiers 4 and 5 because it will take people some time to get there. But they're coming. Hopefully they'll make it at launch. They really should, but it's really tight. I mean, people are really still scrambling. There's still a lot of work to do with the Space Adventure Zone. We're trying to tutorialize it and make it a little less chaotic right now. I think it's a little confusing. Too much stuff is coming your way.
It's definitely, and in beta is what beta is. You're there to test it out, seeing what works and what doesn't as far as the tech is concerned. But there were definitely things that I know I was running around going, I don't know what this is supposed to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. So we're trying to make it a little more directed, and a little less chaotic. Too many, you're on one mission, and too many other missions are just kind of vying for your attention too much. So we're addressing that. People are working hard over the weekend to fix that. I'm in my pajamas talking to you guys instead, so I'll be the slacker. But so there's still a lot of work to do, and we've got about a week and a half or so to get it done. But I'm excited about it. There's because we've been trying to hold back the story as much as possible, but too much of it is just getting out there. But you guys still haven't heard the full story, so we're trying to keep as much of it secret as possible, and it'll be revealed through the cutscenes and through the reputation system and through the contacts as what's really going on there. And we have we have an end game in mind, what we want to do with where the Iconian arc is take things, and so we have the next year planned out, and that's what we've been spending the last towards the end of this milestone. It gets really busy for the leads because we're trying to manage and review and facilitate all the content that's going live at the same time we're planning the next update. So we're deep in the middle of the next of season 9 and beyond what's coming out next. So it's a really busy time for the leads right now. But we already have we know what's going to happen next, and we've got new celebrity talent planned, and we're already talking with other celebrities right now about who
Excellent.
we can get and what's, because we still have a 4th anniversary coming up already.
Unbelievable.
Right?
Nice.
I was going to say, winter event is just a couple of weeks away.
It's going to be it's going to be crazy.
And then a couple of weeks after that is anniversary. How nuts?
You've got November, which is going to be nuts with season 8, and then there's going to and we've got the Ilachi stuff, the Ilachi Red Alerts. You've got the featured episode replay. Then you've got the season 8, and then there's going to be some stuff that's going to come out after that, some C-Store stuff, and then boom, right into the winter event. And there's a new thing in the winter event, right? There's new stuff that wasn't in last year, and then exactly. Then boom, we go right into the anniversary event, 4-year anniversary, and then more C-Store stuff, and then more featured episodes, more events, and then season 9, and then that goes right into the summer event. So we've got the whole year planned. Getting that.
Excellent.
So with how season 8 is being rolled out with the featured episode and then all the new content, is that how we can expect season 9 to roll out? Or is it too early to say?
In what respect do you mean?
What I'm trying to say is, are we going to see the return of a featured episode series, or are we going to get the single featured episode plus the new content, like with Season 8 with the Voth Battleground?
I think that it's really kind of early to say right now, because there's a lot we're still doing. We're still in the middle of planning. We're still in the middle of costing, and by costing I don't mean money, I mean costing on time and where we want to put things. Because whether we're thinking about do we want our fall release, should that be an expansion or should that be another season? And if it's an expansion, then we need to put more people on that, which means season 9 might be pretty light on content and more heavy on systems. Or do we just go with 2 seasons, which case we can kind of spread it out? I think that we really like the results of having a featured episode come out first and then the season come out. I think that we'll see that kind of cadence again in the future. I don't know if that will happen for season 9, because I think season 9 might be a little lighter on content. But it's still really early in planning. That whole thing may just flip flop. So
okay.
We don't know. We know what the stories are going to be. Just don't know when it's going to happen.
Well, you had mentioned Memory Alpha earlier, and that makes me wonder: is a crafting revamp in our future?
We have an early crafting draft design that we've just been working on over the last couple of weeks, and so yes,
I'm gonna cry. I'm so happy.
Yes, I'm really hoping. I think you can put a pretty safe bet that by middle-ish next year we'll have a whole brand new awesome crafting system. So our goal right now is we've got a really solid game now, and now our goal is to pick up all the orphans from Star Trek Online. All the things that have been left behind that were never really completed, or things that we're just not happy with. And so that's why I also mean that some of the seasons going forward may be a little light on content, because we really want to update all the old stuff. All the stuff, it's time to really, because we've got a lot of people coming into the game all the time, and we want to make sure we turn as many of those into loyal Star Trek Online players. So that means things like updating crafting, updating PvP, updating early Federation content, updating Foundry, getting all of those features that are never quite where we want them to be. Update. What are we going to do with exploration? As far as the exploration clusters, not really. We're never really happy with those, and so we want to. I don't know if we're going to update those or change that into something completely different at this point, because it is a massive. Because we made, they're all kind of like randomly generated, critters and bad guys and missions, and so I don't know what we want to do with that. But we're trying to address all those old features and all that old content, and crafting is definitely one of those. And so we're kind of now just kind of thinking how complex do we want to make crafting? And so that's just enough for debate about how to do that. So we're in the middle of that. So I think you can expect that. Now that'll be fun. Very
cool. Some more questions that are popping into my mind. A little bit. We haven't discussed new ships. I have heard a few complaints from people regarding the car fee being put into the Dyson Sphere reputation system.
The fleet holding.
Mm-hmm.
The fleet holding.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about why you made that? Cryptic made the decision to put it there rather than to put it into the the shipyard fleet holding?
Oh, as opposed to putting it in there as opposed to in the shipyard?
Yes.
We needed prizes for that fleet holding.
Pretty straightforward.
The complaint is that it's a whole numbers thing. The Federation has more ships available to them from their shipyard. The KDF has significantly fewer, and it's upsetting some people that one of the KDF ships is in a separate holding that they have to build up instead of available in.
But so does the Federation.
Shipyard.
Federation has ships in there too. So the same. I mean, we needed more rewards for that holding. We could put them. We have limited ships that are available, and so they're I think tier 3 in that fleet holding is far more accessible than a tier 4, tier 5 in the shipyard. Although some people already had unlocked it, I understand that. But honestly, we just needed to find good rewards for that system, and we knew that we were going to put the Arkeef in there, and so we needed then we put the Karfi and the Aatrox from the Federation, the Klingon side, in there to unlock in there. So I don't really have any excuse as to why it's in there, why we picked that ship. I don't know if that was the question, but we just want to get all the ships eventually into the fleet system, into fleet versions of them all. So that's it, right? We put that in there. So
it makes sense. The next question was the Romulans and to a lesser extent the Klingons, they have a fewer number of ships available. Will we be seeing more coming to both of those factions in the future?
There's always going to be more coming to those factions, certainly. Star Trek Online follows the users. We make features not because what we want to make. We make either stuff for the store or for the game based on what people do or buy, right? So that's really the bottom line. Is it's so there are more Federation players, and so we make more they sell more, and so we tend to make more of those. That's really the bottom line, because it doesn't cost any less money to make it on the Klingon, to make something for the Klingon or the Romulan side. I think that there are 2 Klingon ships planned, one for the near future that's coming out, and one probably early next year or something like maybe spring next year. There's nothing on the immediate future for Romulan ships, but the next one would probably be a science vessel would be the next thing that I would make for them. A pretty something Vesta-like, and not looking like a Vesta, but that kind of level of quality for Romulan science vessel over there. But we don't try to cover it up. We make more Federation ships. We do. Most people come in. The average person plays a Federation character. That's just what happens. So,
true.
On the subject of Federation ships, you talked about going back and cleaning up some of the stuff that was left unfinished, or you would like to have done better. The older Kit Bash model, some of those are ugly as sin.
Ian Richards right now, when I last left him on Friday, was updating some of those old Defiant variants, because those were probably the worst Kit Bashy looking things. So
those and the Luna variants.
Luna variants? I don't remember them being bad, but I like them. There you go.
The Luna itself is beautiful, but some of the models, it's just, at least in my opinion, but a lot of those old Fed Kit Bash ships are very unappealing. Glad to hear they're being reworked. I know he's working on
the Defiant ones. Ship team is very overworked, and we just got a 3rd ship artist, so I'm very excited about that, because they really needed another member over there, because making a new ship is almost 3 weeks of one ship artist time just to make the model.
Wow.
So that's a big expense. It's a lot of time, and it's a little bit less if it's just a critter ship, but if it's a critter ship that a player may eventually use, then it's basically the same time. And if it's got something like some sort of separation or animation, you can add some more time to that. And if you're making variants, you get more time to that as well. So we always put 15 days on the schedule for any basic ship that's going to be made. So it's a lot of work, and they're not just making ships for people to play. They're making all the critter ships, the Voth ships, right? All those Voth ships that was a huge investment. They made the giant fortress ship that you fly into. So the outside, I don't think they made the inside. They just made the outside. Environment artists made the inside. So that wasn't 15 days. That's a lot more. So there's a huge demand on them for that's where the majority of Star Trek's revenue comes from is lockboxes and ships. So we have to release those on a regular cadence and a regular and so they're always investing their time into that. So it's not easy to just say, we're just going to make a Klingon ship that we'll invest the same amount of time for, or should we that we might make a couple bucks on, or should we go ahead and make another lockbox ship that's going to keep the game afloat for another 6 months, so or whatever. I'm just making up numbers, but so it becomes a very easy business decision on where to invest at. But we do have, but there's always a demand for more and more ships. So luckily we've got this other 3rd artist, and so we've been talking about a few things to pick up, including like I said, the Defiant model, and we're talking about there's a few other Federation ships that might be really easy to just bang out that really aren't going to bring in a lot of revenue. They'll just be fun to have, including the Soyuz and the Constellation.
Nice.
So we might be able to get those. It's not going to make like tier 5 versions of them, but just I don't know what we'll do with them, but I still want to get the Constellation because I want to get the Picard maneuver in the game. So
I love it.
One last ship question, if you don't
Sure.
mind. Some Klingon players that I know have been asking about a ship with five forward slots. I think it is. Any chance we'll be seeing a ship with 5 forward slots on the Klingon side anytime soon?
Yes, sir. Probably more than one.
Excellent. I think that'll satisfy them. Thank you.
Hopefully by the end of this year, you'll see the first one, and then more additional ones. We may even retrofit existing ships with a 5th slot because we're looking at some birds of prey, and we don't have a lot of resolution on change them since all their bridge officer seatings are identical, right?
Right.
So we're thinking about trying to
universal slots, aren't they?
Yeah, there's some. Here's some things. I'll throw some stuff that we're working on Birds of Prey. We're thinking about taking a look at their stats, whether or not one of them might get a 5th forward weapon slot. I don't know. I'm going to say maybe. It certainly has been talked that we've talked about. Also talking about what we're going to do. Giving them flanking. Giving them so because they're very fragile, right? But they're supposed to be like kind of like an assassin class, right?
Right.
So how does an assassin how do we do a backstab? Well, let's give them backstab. Let's give them flanking in space. So high risk, high reward, high damage output, right? That kind of thing. So
you make them space burglars.
Yeah, space burglars.
Very cool. So thank you. I think that'll make a lot of the Klingons happy. And sorry for asking so many Klingon questions.
It's fine. We're not forgetting the Klingons. It's there. It's just the bills have to get paid for first. So you probably the Klingon ship coming out next is probably going to be very similar to the Avenger, but not the same, but similar in the kind of thing that you get. Just a really beefy, burly, squirrely kind of battle cruiser kind of thing with 5 forward weapon slots.
Nice.
Well,
awesome.
I assume that kind of going into the Delta Quadrant is going to open up a lot of new potential ships for you guys to be able to sell.
Going into Delta Quadrant is going to open up a lot as far as playable alien ships for lockboxes. And I always like to restrict those to lockboxes or featured episodes.
Right.
But as far as IP ships, it doesn't open up anything more except the Dauntless, right? So if everyone remembers the Dauntless from Voyager, which wasn't technically a Federation ship, but it was kind of a Federation ship. It was mocked after one, and we could very well see the Federation using those plans to build a ship based on that because it was awesome. So there's that. But we're out of IP ships. It's all based, really at this point.
And you get to create new ones.
It's all making new ones at this point. Like
that sounds like
that's what it's actually hard. It's really hard, right? Because it's really easy to make an IP ship. We just make it as awesome as it appears and try to give it a nice polish. But so we made the Avenger. Was the Odyssey and the Avenger are 2 brand new ships that we made. But it was a hell of a lot easier to make the Vesta because we knew what it looked like. So because you risk what the reception is going to be like because people have expectations of what they're they can't say cryptic you made a really sucky Cheyenne class as well. We didn't do it. You guys did it. We're just doing what we were told. But if we make a ship and they don't like it, it's too. I mean that was the challenge with the Odyssey because how can we get someone to love a new Enterprise? That was a huge responsibility. But making ships going forward is really fun. But I mean we're concepting out the new Klingon ship and it's no, it's not right. And that's not gonna like it. It looks too much like a Raptor. It looks too much like a bird of prey. It's supposed to be more of a battle cruiser. It's just no, it doesn't. It looks too retro. It's not cool enough. It looks too Abrams-like. Whatever. It's just you gotta find the right spot. There's a lot of expectations, and the recipe for failure is to try to please everyone.
Everyone, exactly.
So you just gotta try to please as many people as possible and keep true to the IP. I think that we've done a pretty good job at that. I've always been really pleased with what the ship team has come up with. Like the 2409 Andorian ship is just awesome, right? And it's based on, it's not the same ship from Enterprise. They 2409 it and it looks awesome. So
Oh, excited. Well, again, we're very excited about it. Is there anything that you think or you want to tease us with?
Don't want to tease you with?
Yeah.
Well, I know that we will be. We talked about teasing about whether or not we can end a Klingon Federation war. We talked about going into Delta Quadrant. We will be continuing more aggressively to pursue an Iconian storyline, which is what we've done. I think hopefully people have picked up on what they saw going on in the featured episode about what's the insidiousness of what's going on, how deep the Iconian reach is, how far the reach is, and so we'll be exploring more of that. I don't think I can tease too much more. I've probably said too much already. If that always do, you guys always get me to say too much. So, yeah. So no, I think that's about all that I can say at this point about what's coming out.
Well, again, congratulations. Good luck with the content releases. For those of you who are in the Bay Area, don't forget you can catch up with everybody at the Star Trek convention, which I believe is being held at the Hyatt Regency Burlingame this year. And if not, you can always go to. It's the Creation one, correct? It's the Creation.
Yeah, it is a Creation one. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
so
also
you can just
it's the same convention where we met Denise Crosby. So.
Oh, okay.
Although
great.
she won't be there this year, but there are some other people I'll be trying to hit up. So.
Yay!
Good luck.
Good luck. And Al, you said you'll be floating around for the couple of days, but you're doing a casual Meet the Devs event on Sunday night, the 10th, correct?
Yes, that sounds about right. At the hotel lounge or whatever that they have there. At least that's where I think it is. But check the website. Check StarTrekOnline.com. Brandon's posting. He's got a post on there about it. So he'll eventually probably put something on the website itself where to meet us. But plan on it being Sunday nights.
Great. Again, thank you so much for joining us, Ross. Gingy, thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
I'm gonna throw out one little shout out because I'm just gonna completely just pimping myself out all the time. If players if anyone who's interested haven't had a chance to check out all the fun stuff from Vegas, I made a website out there. So it's just trekoflife.weebly.com. So Weebly, WEEBLY, trekoflife.weebly.com. And it's got a ton of pictures from the cons. Probably stuff you've already seen on Trek Radio, and as well as the Denise Crosby panel and the now Old News Dev panel, and also
Old News Dev panel.
now the Old News Dev panel, and as well as the wedding ceremony featuring Terry Lynn and DJ Riza as the Triple Bearers.
Oh yes, Gingy, we were Triple Bearers, but there were no Flower Girls. There were Triple
Bearers.
So.
I'll include a link to it in our show notes.
That photo was not included in what I saw on Twitter.
Yeah, it's cute.
So the absolute nerdiest wedding up there. So hopefully invite everyone to join in on that.
If you're gonna go.
Go big.
Next year I'm getting Michael Dorn to do it, man. That's it. Full Klingon wedding. Wouldn't that be amazing? He'll never do it. But.
Yeah, no. Well, again, thanks, Al, for joining us, and we look forward to the next time. Hopefully we can have you on again when you're not. I know it's been crazy. And we always talk to you right at the eve of when things are craziest, right?
It's been so hard to keep my mouth shut about Michael Dorn.
I can imagine.
I wanted to say something for the longest time, and I kept trying to put little tweets out, and all content work. I make little tweets, and I tweeted a picture of me in the recording studio. Just no one knew what I was recording, but I just tweeted it out. But I was just so dying to say something. You can't. They put a pretty good gag order on all of us, and so at the end when things starts coming out, then I can start making my rounds and start talking about things. So.
And you have been making your rounds. You've been interviewing left and right.
Yeah. I've been just trying because it's a lot of stuff to talk about, and it's a lot of really fun stuff. So I want to make sure everyone gets to learn about it. So thanks for giving me the time to cover some of this content.
Wow, we appreciate
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, that was this week's G&T show, Supplemental Log with STO lead designer, Al Rivera, and co-hosting with Gingy, our wonderful Gorn friend from Gates of Tovacor, and of course Michael. We'll catch you guys. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Music for the G&T show is provided by Warp 11, Grethor, 5 Year Mission, and Andrew Allen's Smooth Federation.
G&T Show is a Busy Little Beaver production.